is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's Wednesday, November 4th. You should take the day off, pal. What are you making over there?
Little cocktail.
Little cocktail. Hi, everybody.
Little Wednesday, take the day off of teeny. You know what I mean? Got 'em.
How you doing, pal?
Oh, ready to take the day off. How about those election results last
We
night?
were up so late.
We just stayed up all night.
Doing
the coverage
election
was
coverage
last night.
We've put together a quick best of clip
best of.
the Bramble Jam election
That's right.
coverage. Trace, cue that clip. Wow.
Unbelievable.
I cannot believe it.
When they talked about a Florida...
Janny's on the line.
Janny's on the line?
Yeah, I'm here live in Florida.
Janny, can you
I'm
hear
here
us?
live in Orlando. I'm ready when you guys are.
What's the state? What's the mood?
And the state is Florida. I just told you that.
If we don't talk about Iowa, I'm out of here. Iowa or bust, Iowa.
Hey, I got Cory Rooker on the line.
Hello, I'm Cory Rooker.
Hi, Cory.
Hello, these election results are awesome.
How is it looking up in New Jersey?
Looking great.
You're up
Had
there?
a slice of pizza pie.
All right.
That was our best of.
That was the best of.
Wow.
The rest of the night was a real snooze
Real
fest.
snooze fest. And as we know, the election results aren't fully in yet, so
Of
we'll just
course.
act like that didn't happen, and we'll keep moving. And that's good news because you need to take the day off
That's
today
exactly
anyway.
right. I think there's just so many reasons to take the day off. I don't really even feel like you need another
I found a reason
one.
for you to stay home and sleep all day. The reason to go back to bed and
It's
stay
Common
home
Sense Day.
instead.
Hi, everybody. It is Use Your Common Sense Day.
Boy, how is that not every day?
Use Your Common Sense Day.
Come on, people.
A day to remind us, just use some common sense. So I was driving yesterday. I think a lot of people don't have common sense when they're driving, Dan. I know you would agree with me there.
Oh, my gosh. so
I was
many.
driving yesterday, and this guy just kept braking, and there was no need to brake. He was just braking.
Yeah.
And I just got so frustrated. I got so mad that I called the police.
Did you? Over a guy breaking.
Over a guy breaking. I said,
Wow.
this guy's reckless. He's
Impressive.
endangering my life, my children's life, the life of everybody around him. They asked for his license plate. And I have never, in all of my years, seen a license plate this large.
It was a big license plate.
It was a big license plate.
I got it.
All one word.
Okay.
It said this. Imagine this with me. Dan knows about Use Your Common Sense Day.
That was on the back of a car.
That was his license plate.
Not
There
to
were
drive-
some letters missing, you know, like as
Just
they do.
Yeah, some of the vowels they
Right.
took out to make sure you
But
clear as day, Dan knows about common
Dan knows
sense.
about Use Your Common Sense Day. Do you?
I do. This all dates back to Chubby Checker doing the twist, if you
What?
can believe it. The twist was a national phenomenon. People show up in dance halls and they would twist away. Now, what you don't know about Chubby Checker is that he was very superstitious about the twist. He believed that he could twist his pants right off.
Wow.
If he continued to twist as hard as he twisted, he would twist his pants right off his body and they'd be ruined forever. And people would be like, Chubby, that's not how physics works at all. But he was like, no. If I twist hard, I'm going to twist the pants right off. He sounded a little bit like Charles Barkley. Not a lot, but a little bit. And Chubby would, in between every twist song, he would go backstage and he would change his pants over and over again. And so in a night of twisting the night away, he'd go through dozens of pants and he never, ever wear them again. And finally, someone was like, Chubby, you have to use some common sense here. Twisting will not ruin your pants. And against all odds, Chubby tried to twist to the same song. Nope. Twist to multiple songs with the same pair of pants on. It went fine. And he said, people all know about this. And so they started National Use Your Common Sense Day. It still exists to this day. Twist the night away, Chubby. That's all I got.
No, wrong.
What? No.
This day was actually created by a guy named Bud Bilinich.
Bud Bilinich? That sounds fake.
Bud Bilinich.
Fake.
And he was a career mentor who focused.
This is a lie. Hi, I'm Bud Bilinich. What do I do for a living? I tell you what to do for a living. I've done it all. You've not done anything. So I'm going to tell you, come on, baby. You be my mentee. I'll mentor you. And know what you do? Here's what you do. You do the things you're supposed to do with the common sense.
He focused
Bud
upon.
Bilinich out.
He focused his whole life.
My son's the son of a Bilinich.
On being the common sense guy.
No.
He is credited with creating this
What
day.
year is this?
It's somewhere in between 2010 and 2015.
Okay.
Bilinich
All right,
believes
Bilinich.
strongly in the power of applied common sense.
Oh, my gosh.
Bilinich selected this date because it is Will Rogers' birthday, who Will Rogers once said, quote, common sense ain't that common. And so that is why we are celebrating
R.I.P.
Use
Will.
Your Common Sense Day. It's a good day, I think. A lot of
Yes.
people, you might be asking yourself, how can I possibly take this day off? Well,
I know. This is easy.
Go ahead.
If you're using your common sense, most of you out there have plenty of paid time off that you've built up. Most of you out there have days off that you don't use because you feel like, I got to work and do what's right for the company or whatever. Use some common sense. Those are your days off. Now's the time. Now's the time for it to be about you. Use some common sense. Take that day off and try to just think about ways you can make your life more efficient just by using common sense. There's so many ways out there.
right. And I would say this also, the chances are, Dan, to your point, maybe you're not traveling as much during the holiday season this year. So you got those days, you're not going to use them then. So might as well use one right
them now.
now.
I think a lot of us need some time after the election.
Last
anyway.
night was tough. Just asked O'Malley Riley.
O'Malley Riley, yeah.
We had that.
Oh, O'Malley here, and it was a ring dinger. I'm ready for more potatoes.
Oh my gosh. We asked you yesterday, what is something that you think is common sense that you don't seem to think others grasp that?
Yeah.
We're going to get to those answers in just a second. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back
Quick
here
break.
on Take the Day Off. O'Malley.
Yeah.
We asked you yesterday, what is something that you think is common sense that others don't seem to grasp? Dan, I know you have a whole list.
Yeah, most of mine are more just like, why wouldn't you do it this way? I don't know if it's common sense or if it's just me like wanting people to do things my way, which is terrible, obviously. But driving is most of them. Like, I do think there are people out there who are so anxious when they drive that they map out their entire route before they drive. They want to stay in the same lane. They want to do this over and over again. And I don't understand that by any stretch, but most of the time, like using a blinker, knowing the difference between the left and right lane on the interstate, these are all things that I think are fairly common sense stuff. Other things are just like store etiquette, like grocery store etiquette is like, if you're going to be a meandering shopper in the store, I'm fine with that. Like, you don't know what you want. You're there. Maybe something's going to strike your inspiration of what to cook. Don't place your shopping cart in the middle of the aisle like an albatross that none of us can get around. Like, understand other people are there to be efficient and make it to where you can shop and be slow. And I can look before I go in the grocery store, and this is just me. If my wife sends me to the grocery store for something, I know where everything is in the store at this point. I know what store I'm going to, and I have mapped out the order in which I'm going to pick those things up in my head. Like, I've already done it. So I'm on it. I'm doing things. You're meandering and you're deciding if you should use lemon zest, and if the lemons look fresh enough, that's fine. Don't park your cart in the middle of the aisle to where none of us can get around it and move with some expediency. Like, I think these things, like, people just are like in their own world when they go out in public. They don't think what they're doing affects anyone else, like in a store or wherever. And it's beyond me. And we're going to get to the mask in a second. I think masks are obviously common sense as well. But there's so many things about when you're not in your own home. They're like, just know other people are trying to do stuff too. Like, I think that would be my big one.
I want to talk to the people out there that install doors
What?
quickly for a living. So
They install them quickly for a living.
no, who install them?
They're rapid
for a
doorsmen.
living quickly. I
Saw the rapid
doorsman
doorsman live. They're so good.
So like I think we can all agree that if a door has like a handle like this, it's a pull.
Yeah.
If a door has a bar like that, it's a push.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't do that, people are gonna get confused. I would just
what
say,
if they had a bar, but
Yes.
right above the bar in giant all caps letters, it said pull.
No.
That's still it. For
That's
those
not-
of us that are grown up that can't read.
The people out there that are installing doors, all I'm saying to you
Quickly.
guys is use your common sense on how people perceive doors and how they open.
Yeah, okay.
It is universally acknowledged the handle is a pull, the bar is a push. So if you mix that up, even if
There's a giant sign that
even
says
if
pull.
the owner of a restaurant puts realizes that the door
Papa's and beer on Haywood Road in Greenville.
the door installers have made an error and they put a pole on a push door, someone might miss it because they're using common sense as to what doors should
But they're
do.
not reading, which I would argue is also common sense.
No, false.
Yeah, I would argue reading.
You can't, no.
You can't
I'm gonna,
read and push at the same time.
I eventually would read, but I would use common sense as to what the doors should do.
I don't know.
What I'm saying is door installers, think about it for just 1 second of your entire
This
life.
is a door installer problem for sure.
This is a door installer problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, we have,
Lauren Ann hits the nail on the head. Be aware if there's a line behind you. That was a much easier way to say everything I was trying to say. People are in their own world. Sometimes there's a line of other people that need to do things and go places as well. Sarah Peterson says saying please and thank you, using your blinker, no double dipping. These are all great examples of just, basic common sense things that help all of us.
Mona says Apple TV. People in my generation just don't get it. But I do think
I do.
TVs are like people have a hard time sometimes with TVs and new gadgets. And for me, it's so intuitive. I agree. It's so intuitive to just, press the arrows, press OK. But if I give that remote to my mom,
Forget it.
It's like, what is going on? And to me, that's not it.
There's going to be something like that when we're old too.
Absolutely. But it's different than I understand my mom not understanding computers because that's not as intuitive, I would say. But a remote control to
where you're guiding something
to guide a smart TV, I agree. I think,
I think
it is common sense.
Hulu Live, your interface is terrible.
I absolutely
awful.
agree.
There's no common sense involved in that particular app for sure.
If I want to pick a new season of a show, it shouldn't be that difficult. I scroll down and it starts scrolling the episodes, but then I scroll back over and it goes back to a different screen.
Yeah, it's impossible to pick an episode out.
Do a cheat code just to pick season 4 of something.
So dumb.
What else you seeing?
Yeah. Somebody else says when the sign says pull the door. When the sign says push the door. It's not rocket science, Bran. Oh, I don't think
Who
Bran
said
was
that?
in there.
Who said that?
Jane said that. And Jane, you are crushing it today, my friend. Crushing it is all I'm saying.
I would just say, Jane, I didn't even see her answer.
It says that's so great.
I would just say, Jane, you have to at least acknowledge that there is at least half of the fault on the door installer in that scenario. If it is common sense, handle, pull, bar, push. We can all agree on that, correct?
But also read.
Yes,
read.
There was fault
Just
on my
read.
part, but
Just
what
read,
I'm saying, is 9 out of 10 people in my situation would have done the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's not
And that's
true.
why they had to put the sign there in the
9 out of
first
10
place.
People would have just
Hey,
pulled to
if
the
it was
symbol.
common sense, they would have had to put the sign there.
No.
They had to put the sign there because it goes
You're
against
right, but
common
once they
sense.
put the sign there, it's on you.
No.
Genevieve has an interesting one, which is you have to unload the bottom of the dishwasher first. And Genevieve, I don't know if I agree with that sentiment at all. If I can pull out the top rack of the dishwasher, leave the bottom rack in, and unload the top rack first, that's fine, right?
And I would also say it is
I just don't. Maybe I'm not getting it, Genevieve. Genevieve,
Why do you have to?
Some explanation.
Yeah, because I always go top to bottom.
It depends on how full everything is to me. Okay. I want to do it the most efficient. So like if it's a lot of like plates and pans and stuff, I do bottom rack first.
Well, let me tell you what I do though. It's based off what is currently in the sink to load after I unload. So if it's a lot of cups and stuff.
Do you load old dishes in while there are still new dishes on another rack?
If it's a top. What's wrong with that?
Because once you put them back in, they could drip on the clean ones.
No.
Yeah, I never put old dishes in when new ones are like. I never put dirty dishes in when clean are still in there. Ever, under any circumstance.
At worst, it's a split second that they're overlapping.
Yeah, I don't want to split. I don't want to split.
Because you're just doing this.
I want to be clean.
You're just doing. They are clean.
Yeah, it's a this.
It's a this.
I just unload all, load all.
Huh.
It's an unload load situation.
I'll have to give
Genevieve,
more
I need
thought.
more information as well.
I will need to give more thought as to how I do dishes because I don't even know if what I just said is accurate to what I actually do. I do it every night and I just don't think about it. But I know I go top to bottom for sure because it's the one closest to me upon opening.
We have several grammar ones on here. All the different words of there and to. I agree with those. Alonzo, when to say and I versus and me. That's a good one, but I think to the point that I care, I do it because it's and I before the verb, it's and me after the verb. And it just, at some point, I'll screw that up because I'm talking fast. So I guess, like, I can understand it, but at the same point, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's important to me, for sure. But I never would say, me and Brandon are going down to the store. I would never say that. I would say Brandon and I. But I would always put the other person first, but sometimes after the verb, I would still say and I instead of and me. You're with me on this, right?
I would just say, though, like, I think the people that are responsible for English are dumb.
The people that
are responsible for making the rules.
You know the ones.
Guys, just get over it.
Get over it.
German's easier.
German is easier.
As someone who took 2 years of German, German's easier.
Than English.
No, it's not actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot more rules, but the rules I feel like
I don't know. English has a ton of rules.
I would say German rules are more consistent. I know that rules are consistent in nature, but I feel like they make more sense in the way in which they're placed.
The rules of the English language always have exceptions to everything, which does make it difficult. And that's a tough one.
Like most other languages, though, it's heavily gender based, whereas English is not.
But if we're gonna talk about words and grammar, I have so many. For all intensive purposes is what people say. For all intensive purposes, it's intents and purposes. Or unconscious versus subconscious is a huge one for me. Those are two very different things. Maybe this was an unconscious decision. So you were just out cold and you made it? No, that's not how that works.
Mine is when people are trying to say that they don't care about something and they say, I could care less.
Yeah,
because that makes it seem as if
Kamala Harris did that the other night, and it's when talking on MSNBC, and it drove me nuts.
I couldn't care. Like I care so little right now. I could not care less about it. That's right. I could care less implies that there's still room for improvement.
How about a statute of limitations? There's a statue someone built with limitations all over. Statute of limitations is what we're looking for.
I saw that statue though. It's a good one.
It's a great statue.
We did it, everybody. Congratulations. Use some common sense and take it sounded like I just censored myself.
Yeah, you didn't.
Use some
common sense.
Hey, question for you guys tomorrow. What is something that you put hot sauce on that other people might not?
Okay.
Hot sauce is a hot topic here. See what I did?
I do see what you did.
We are going to be done, and we're going to go to the Plahaku, Lord willing, and we will be back tomorrow with another exciting day here on Take the Day Off.
The presence of ghosts is our yearning to connect with the bygone days. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, it worked that time.
Bygones be bygones.
Let them be bygones. It's always nice when the Plahaku works.
It always is. And I would say this, I think he's still on Halloween time.
He's on Halloween time?
He's still on Halloween time.
Happy Halloween, Chris.
Happy Halloween, Chris.
For next 2021.
Bygones be bygones.
Let him go.